Hey guys, this is Marshall Kirby from Orchard Hill Farm Equipment, and behind me today we have the NS Series cab tractor. We've already done a video on this in the past, but we figured we'd give a little bit of an update as this machine is outfitted with quite a few different accessories and attachments. So we wanted to go over those and a little bit more in depth on this series and just show some of the offerings that they offer in this series. So the NS Series is available in a shuttle shift or a hydrostatic transmission. Today behind me we have a hydrostatic transmission machine. This machine's also available in multiple models. So there is an NS4710 and an NS6010 in the cab series, both of which are offered in both shuttle and hydrostat. Today we're looking at the 4710. That is probably our most popular seller. It is 45 horsepower, and then the 6010 is going to be right around 60 horsepower at the engine. This machine is definitely a common seller for guys doing firewood operations, large scale, property owners. So for example, this is going to a guy with about 50, 60 acres, wood lots, land clearing, brush hogging, farm maintenance, and it actually is pretty common for the snow removal contractors as well as just landscapers and stuff like that in the summertime. So overall, nice machine. It's compact. It's considered a large compact. And it's got a lot of power for its size and offers a lot of nice features and is honestly a very reliable machine. So we love selling these. These are built to last, built like tanks. So we're going to kind of go over what they offer. So we'll kind of dive into this series and show you what it's all about. So up front, it's going to have standard this quick attach 72-inch bucket, which this customer decided to add on the bolt-on cutting edge feature you'll see down there, which is a great feature. Obviously prolongs the life of this bucket. It's a throwawayable cutting edge that is made to last a long time, and it's also reversible. When you wear out one side, you unbolt it, flip it around. Skid steer quick attach, as we mentioned. This customer went with an awesome grapple setup. So this is a Kioti KG4066 grapple. It's 66 inches wide. The standard bucket's 72, so we feel like usually around close to that bucket size is a good grapple size, maybe a hair less, because grapples weigh more than your average bucket. The 4066 and the 4072 grapple are built to last. They are built very, very, very thick steel, very well constructed all the way around. Our quick attach 2, they come standard with your lines and fittings, and nice grease zerks that are recessed inside the pin, much like Kioti loaders always have been. Nice protector plate back here covering up the piston. These are dual piston grapples, and they offer a lot of different sizes. We're going to do another video on all of Kioti's different grapples some point or another soon, hopefully. But this is a great setup for this customer. Behind here is the KL5810, which is going to operate your bucket and your grapple, obviously. This is a loader. This loader lifts right around 2,700 pounds to full height at the pivot pin at the back of the bucket, basically, to full height. So it's definitely a tractor that will accomplish picking up 1 ton, a pallet of pellets, something like that out of a pickup truck. This is kind of a good class tractor to be able to do that capably and not have problems and not be too sketchy. The tractor is outfitted with a third function on the front. This is a Kioti third function kit, so you're going to see it's well designed with a nice metal bracket that's in there, and the lines are going to go up in a long line with all the other loader lines there. We're going to get and show you the rest of the third function on the other section of the tractor in a little bit. All the lines on this loader, for the most part, they try to protect, like, metal plate over this. These are hard metal lines. The only flexible hoses are going to be for the third function because they need to be, and then also for any piston on the loader and whatnot. So flexible hoses there. Grill guard standard on the machine. That can be removed if for some reason you need to remove it, but it's a standard feature when you buy the loader. Nice metal hood, very, very well constructed. This hood is the same hood that you would have seen on the NX series previously. The front axle is probably a huge selling point on this tractor. They've upgraded it. So this model kind of compares to their other series, which is the NX series, but there's a few differences. One of which is the front axle here. So the front axle here is a big upgrade from the other tractors in this kind of category. The much bigger housing, just overall bigger components. They've done that, upgraded it. They really didn't have a ton of issues on the other models with the smaller front axle in this horsepower range, but I don't know, who doesn't like a bigger front axle? It's going to, take the weight and abuse a lot better than the smaller ones will. So they did a good job there. Today we have R14 tires made by Goodyear on this tractor. These are a beautiful tire option. Comes standard as an option on this tractor. Now, there is a slight price difference from R14 down to some of the other cheaper tires, but we're only talking a few $100s or less, all complete on the whole package, not per tire. So these are a common one, probably the most common tire right now. Great all-season, all-terrain tires, great for mud, snow, dirt, all that stuff. Just overall a good tire. You also see welded to kind of help protect a little bit that valve stem there on the rim, which is kind of nice and unique. Nice step to get in the cab right here, and it's pretty rugged. I mean, not super flimsy. Some of these steps to get in are a joke on tractors nowadays, but this is pretty darn beefy. Nice fuel tank. I want to say, don't hold me to it, but 13, 14 gallon fuel tank, give or take, maybe even a little bit more. It's underneath the tractor. You can have a nice protector plate under there, and this is a very thick poly setup. Honestly, they've been using this fuel tank on most tractors and most brands from 40 to 60 horsepower for the last half a decade or longer, and have had good results. So I'm not super concerned with it being low. It's somewhat protected there. I think I've sold one of these fuel tanks out of 30 different models that offer it over the last 10 years. It's really not common for somebody to destroy one of these. And that one I sold, a metal stake went through it that was out in the woods that he didn't know about. So very thick poly tank. They do a good job with that. One of your hydrostatic filters is right here. Hydraulic filters is located right there, right in back of the fuel tank. Pretty easy access to grab that. You're also going to notice a frame that connects to the loader that goes underneath there and connects to the back axle. That's this frame right here. Very rugged, well built. Again, gives a little bit more protection underneath that tractor. Having that frame for the loader connect to the back axle also displaces that lift capacity along the whole frame of the tractor, which is good. As always, recessed grease zerks, not going to break them off, which is a nice feature. Side marker lights. Your cab is lockable, and you can also get in and out on both sides of the cab. Some brands you can only get in on one side, as crazy as that is. Lockable side view mirrors, top cab lights, same thing on that side. Cab lights, mirrors, blinkers, all that stuff. The fenders are plastic. Some people have mixed reviews on that. Some people like that, some people don't. If we take a look from the underneath and look in there, you're going to notice that not the entire fender is plastic, okay? So you're going to see some bolt patterns over towards the front here, which is removable. So what does that mean? Well, the main fender built to the cab is metal, and these are outskirts of that fender. I'd call them fender flares. They are really the majority of your fender, but if you break one, it's not a nightmare to replace. It's a plastic piece. It's cheaper to replace, easier to replace, unbolts, removes, throw it in the garbage, grab a new one. And so I don't mind it. I mean, yeah, plastic is probably going to break easier than metal, but honestly, quick and easy change out and way cheaper to replace for the few times you do have that accident. The rear rims are reversible or adjustable, I should say, for the width, which is a nice feature. Going to come standard on pretty much all of the tires, I want to say, except the turf tires. All of the rims will have this adjustment where you can flip around these centers to the outside and widen the stance or narrow the stance up, which is a nice thing. Back here we have a backhoe. This is the standard backhoe that's going to be on most of these tractors in this kind of category. This is a KB2485 backhoe. It's an 18-inch bucket we see down here with replaceable bolt-on teeth. You can remove these teeth and have a flat bottom bucket really quick and easy, which is nice. The mechanical thumb is adjustable with a pin right here. You can adjust it up and down, lock it out of the way if you're trenching, doing that type of thing, all that. 8.5 foot digging depth down, of course, that's hence the model, to get you 8.5 feet down. These backhoes are are going to offer the nice feature on a lot of locks. So you got a lock here. You have locks for your outriggers, which the last person operated didn't put on. But basically, those just hold those from sagging down. We also have a lock right here. You can pull this pin out and locate it right there, and that will lock it from going side to side. You get a 180-degree spin radius on your backhoe operation, which is great. You have your controls here for your backhoe. These are adjustable here to change the angle of the pitch of these joysticks for your operating of your backhoe. So if you want to loosen this jam nut, spin it over here, facing this way, and lock it back down, you can. Adjustments on seat on the backhoe. There's some height adjustments here, and underneath the seat, there's also some bolt patterns to adjust to, just to change it for depending on the person operating it. This backhoe is a quick release backhoe, so if you want to go to brush hogging really fast, you can remove this. There's 2 pins underneath the tractor. You're going to yank those pins out, drop your outriggers, drop your bucket, disconnect your hydraulics, and drive forward. There's a few other people that have done videos out there, including us, removing these backhoes. They're quite easy to remove. The biggest advice I have for you if you're taking a backhoe on and off is do it on the hardest level ground you possibly have, because that will save you when putting it back on and make your life way, way easier. If you have uneven ground or you take it off in the mud like this, it's not going to be super fun and easy to line up after. So keep that in mind. The 3-point hitch are a deluxe 3-point hitch here. They are extendable. So basically you push down here and then this is going to extend in and out. And then you also are going to have height adjustment on that too. And then when you want to lock your implement back in, you back into the implement and do that. The side link adjustments are mechanical pull pins with a sliding mechanism, very rugged built, which is great. No more turnbuckles. You can check your hydraulic oil from the rear end. I can't quite access it in there, but it's located like right there. That's your hydraulic oil checkpoint. And there's a fill from the back as well. 1 set of remotes standard on this tractor, which our backhoe is plumbed into right now, but we can add multiple more sets to the tractor if you need those rear remotes. The rear window is defrosted, standard. You can add a rear wiper if you so choose. It just doesn't come standard, but cheap little option to add to that. The only other feature that we're missing out on the back axle is on the other side over here, we have a lift lever for the 3-point hitch. So normally on a tractor, you got to lift and lower these arms from inside the cab or on the tractor. Kioti has come up with their own design, very, very well thought out, which links the linkage that's inside the cab, underneath the cab, to the outside of the cab. So from the back of the tractor, if you're trying to hook up an implement, you don't want to have to get back in your tractor to lower your 3-point hitch. You don't have to. There's a lift and lower mechanism lever over on this side, so that'll lift and lower these arms for you without getting back in your cab. So makes things a little bit more seamless and easy. And you get a full-size, drawbar back there. You're going to have category 1 on the pin size for the 47, and then when you jump up to that 60 horse model, you're going to get category 2 on the 3-point hitch. So pretty standard in the industry, though. You're going to find that. Next, we're going to dive into the cab and just show some of those features that they offer, of what to expect here when opening up the cab. So inside here, the cab's pretty well thought out. There's a lot of room, plenty of room. I'm about 6'1" and plenty of leg space here, and head space as well. So great, well thought out cab. You're gonna have a nice cup holder, whatever, phone holder there. Nice handle to get in the cab here. Another handle on the outside. This is all a handle essentially on your cab. So if you feel uneasy, you can go and grab it, which is great. These side windows pop out, which is great for grabbing, some fresh air in the summertime when it just gets putridly hot out. Now this cab is AC, controlled as well as heat, but grabbing that fresh air sometimes makes a world of a difference. Sometimes running that same air constantly in the cab in the AC gets gross. The AC and heat vents, there are 8 total, so 4 on each side. Definitely more than enough for this small little cab here. Optional radio you can add in, which is a great little feature to add. Internal cab light, heat and AC controls, sun visor. You can also have a side view mirror, rear view mirror, which actually this goes a long way in this cab. I mean, it's phenomenal to see what the heck's going on in back of you. You got the side mirrors, but I always prefer a rear view mirror. Just, it comes in handy quite often. So that's nice. Your brakes on the floor are splittable, as well as this is a parking brake right now. The parking brake is set, but you can brake on right or left if you want. This little lever right here is a tilt mechanism for your front steering wheel. So you can lock that to where you like it, lock it in, be good to go. Headlights, horn, all that stuff right here is what we got going on. Your dash. This tractor does have glow plugs, or a glow plug system essentially when you turn on the key. The light will come on and kind of go over that, and then it'll go away in about 20 to 30 seconds. It's pretty warmed up right now, so the glow plugs didn't even actually come on the dash, so that's pretty standard. Over here, we have our 4-way directionals, or, you know, whatever we want to call them there, and then our flashers. And then this is 4-wheel drive on, 4-wheel drive off. So those are nice features right there, easy access. Your loader joystick over here, this is a third function valve that is made specifically for this tractor. So when operating that loader, maybe these two fingers are going to operate your grapple opening and closing, while the rest of it operates the loader control. Pretty standard in the industry. The loader has side functions. So if you go over to this corner, you're going to lift and lower, or, you know, dump and lift at the same time, or, you know, dump and curl back, or lower and curl back. All those different functions are going to be in the corners. And this tractor also has float standard. You're going to find that in most tractors nowadays, but still a feature you want to look out for. You want to have float on a loader. It makes it way better and way more useful. Your throttle for your engine's right here, which is a nice, you know, close to you thing. This is something custom we made. So when operating the backhoe, you need the rear remote to be in detent. So we have made like a little unique little piece here to lock this in, so it is essentially in a detent, because this tractor comes standard with a spring-loaded valve, and for the backhoe you need constant flow, you need it locked on. So this is a good way of doing it. Some people run a bungee cord to this, to that. This is just a better way of doing it, other than buying that second valve, that, you know, detent valve, and spending a little bit more money. This is just a quick little hack to make it work. But as you can see, you can have multiple more rear remotes. Speakers back here pre-wired, cab lights, windshield washer fluid, wipers, heated defrosted window, turning on and off your PTO right there. This tractor has auto and manual PTO, which we've talked about in the past on a lot of machines. The manual is going to mean mechanically you turn it on, you turn it off. Auto means you turn it on, it's on every time you lift your mower up, per se. It's going to turn it off for you every time you drop your mower back down. It's going to turn it back on for you. Regen control, I won't get too deep into that on what that does, but it's a pretty simple system. We have a full video explaining the regen process. And over here is your cruise control. This tractor does come with cruise control standard, which is a nice feature for a hydrostatic. When you're mowing big fields, you don't want to have to constantly keep pressure on that forward pedal. So this will lock it down, be simple, and you can disengage it when you want to. Nice retractable armrest over here on this side. This tractor also comes standard with full 3-point hitch control with lockers for height adjustments, as well as draft control, which is great for you farmers, say disc harrowing or plowing a field. That might come into handy. A couple other cutouts back here for more buttons and features. Another cup holder. Seat is fully adjustable for the weight of the person right here. You have an adjustment right here, up and down. This is going to change it forward and reverse, all that stuff. Down on the floor, we have a differential lock, which is pretty standard on every tractor, and flow control for your 3-point hitch. So turning this right or left is going to speed up or down, or slow down the lifting of your 3-point hitch. So say a brush hog on the back is going to lift slowly if you turn to the slow feature, that type of thing. 3-range transmission. So this is hydrostatic, so low, medium, and high, and there is a neutral in between each of those. A shuttle shift. This little piece on the dash would get cut out at the factory, and there would be linkage that would go in there, and you'd have a forward and reverse lever right here to go forward and reverse. And this also gets cut out, and you have a 4-speed stick shift right here. And instead of brakes on this side, they're going to come over here, and you're going to have a clutch pedal right here to obviously shift and change from forward to reverse. There is a USB port and 12-volt outlet right here. You know, some modern day amenities that come with the tractor. Nice fuse box inside the cab. You can pop these little grommets out and get inside your fuse box inside the cab. I think that kind of does it for the cab. I'm sure there's a few little things I might be missing, but overall, very well thought out cab. Everything's ergonomic in the locations you'd need them. You know, you're not reaching far out. Everything's right by your side, essentially ready to go, laid out quite nicely. So we definitely like this cab, and most customers appreciate it when they sit in it for sure. And yeah, so that's the cab. Lastly, the only other thing that we really didn't go over is the maintenance underneath the hood of the engine. We'll do that real quick, and then that'll be about it for this machine. So the hood is going to have a latch down here, and you just unlock that, and it's got, you know, piston struts that bring the hood up, and it'll stay up in the air. In the front, we have an interstate battery, Donaldson air filter, antifreeze overflow, you know, radiator fill, some fuses, AC stuff, and all these are all screens. There's screens to pull out and clean out all of these sections here of these radiators, coolers, and AC stuff. So that's nice. Over on this side, we have a lot of our servicing stuff. So we're going to kind of show you, it is kind of tight with the loader on. So number one, this whole loader can get removed with these drop down pieces, and the loader lock out pieces right here will pull out, and then quick disconnect hydraulic lines, and you can back out and your loader will stay away from the tractor. So if you're doing a big service, maybe you want to take your loader off, but if you're doing like a quick oil change, I guess you don't have to, but it's just nice. So down here, it is kind of tight with the hydraulic lines, but you can have a fuel filter right here, which has a water separator and a sight glass on it, so you can see any moisture and whatnot in the fuel. There's a primer on the top. This fuel filter is also heated, so as the machine is running, it's sending warmth to this fuel filter, so it cannot gel up, or at least eliminates the possibility of it gelling up as easy. The engine oil filter right there. There is a throttle cable right here, and then back here is your dipstick, which is relatively easy to access. You kind of got to get your hand in there crooked. And engine oil fill is the one thing that is a little bit further back. It is kind of back here. You can't quite see it where you're at. You pretty much just got to move this out of the way, cut this little zip tie and re-zip tie it. Then you can get your hands in there and unscrew that cap. Get a nice flexible, you know, funnel and get her filled back up. The drain plugs are on the bottom of the oil pan down there. And quick disconnect loader hydraulic lines right there. That's pretty much it for, you know, engine service stuff. There is a starter and an alternator on the other side, and your regen filter. And that's about it. Your front axle oil will also get changed every once in a while, and there's a drain plug on each side, and a fill port at the top. And then, of course, we already showed you one of the, if I could get the hood shut here. We already showed you one of the hydraulic filters. There's another one on this side tucked up underneath, but pretty standard. That's most of your servicing for filters and fluids on this machine. Again, this was the NS series full cab loader backhoe overview, packaged out with a grapple today. We hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you got questions, let us know. If you want a price on one of these, email us at info@orchardhillsales.com or give us a call, 413-253-5456.